Before we begin, I'll just quickly introduce HR Enlight to all the people who've logged on for today. It is a standalone and a non-profit association of people who've designed to engage and enrich enlighten the HR community across industries, providing a platform of collaboration and partnership amongst the HR and business leaders. We work towards the establishment of forward-thinking, sustainable HR practices in India, strengthening India's economic development and reputation in the internationally HR community. By working with both seasoned HR professionals and students, we strive to a faster mindset of innovation, thought leadership, and develop the next generation of HR professionals. So that's us, HR Enlight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three panelists with us today, and the topic is changing role of business and HR during and post the lockdown scenario. Let me begin with introducing our speakers for today. I will start with Rajiv Batra, who is the CEO of Tata GLT. Rajiv comes with 25 years of experience and in success of achieving operational excellence, revenue and business growth objectives in rapidly changing environments, a strategic leader who turns around business challenges by leveraging entrepreneurial drive and market acumen for success in new and existing markets. Believes that a great team who has the focus on their craft, powered by a compelling vision and organizational culture, can achieve the impossible. Has made significant contributions in driving operational excellence through process improvements, quality transformational initiatives, new product developments, and other related practices. A few of his specialities are strategy and implementation, business excellence and turnaround, organizational success, network development, and team building. Rajiv, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prashant.
We've got Aditya next. Aditya is an advocate by profession, practicing in the labor and industrial courts. He is at present handling several important cases, which include cases of general demands, strikes, lockouts, recognition of unions, cancellation of recognition, individual disputes, unfair trade practices, etc. in the industrial labor courts up to the High Court and the Supreme Court level. He is dealing with numerous cases of closure and retrenchment, bonus, gratuity, and matters pertaining to individual terminations as well. He also continues to advise companies in the IT and ITES space. He is the president of the Labour Law Practitioners Association, Pune. Aditya, welcome to the panel.
Thanks.
Finally, we've got Hrishikesh Rajendra, who's the CEO of Atyasa. Morning, Aditya. He is an affable and acclaimed management trainee with over 3 decades of experience in HR, operational business, international business, law, and training. He has held various leadership positions in Government of India and in leading IT and consulting organizations. Hrishikesh has delivered several transformational workshops, competency engagement programs, behavioral interventions on failure culture, interpersonal effectiveness, emotional intelligence, creating high-performing teams, women's self-empowerment, and many more similar workshops. His contribution in transformation of lives has been in the manufacturing, automobile, pharma, reality, telecom, agriculture, supply chain, IT, and the education sectors, both nationally as well as internationally. Hrishikesh qualifies as an acclaimed expert on legal compliances related to both employees as well as employers. Welcome, Hrishikesh, on the panel.
Thank you. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having all three of you all on the panel with us. So let's start without further ado. Rajiv, if I may start with you first, that's the business side. On a personal note, I'm curious to know, how does a senior leader like you spend his time in the current scenario?
Yeah, good morning, Prashant, and good morning, everyone. The scenario is quite difficult for all of us. And, this is unplanned, unprecedented scenario. And we are under lockdown since last 1 month, since March. we have not planned for this, but for financial year 21, we have planned everything, strategy, our tactics, our goals in the month of Feb itself. But because this situation came arise, now from last 1 month, we are working on our new strategies. We are working on the points which we missed to cover up such kind of situation will arise and what company will do. We are changing our goals, not the long-term goals, only for the short-term goals. Because long-term strategies, our long-term vision, we would like to keep intact. And accordingly, we are changing short-term plans. We are trying to enter in the new markets. We are trying to develop new products. We are trying to grasp new methodology to enter and penetrate and increase our market share. So this is the scenario. We are utilizing this time in a very positive manner. We are keep motivating our people. I will discuss in detail in my further discussion on this subject. But before I will go in the depth of this subject, first of all, I would like to humblest gratitude to Pooja and Rupesh, who have requested me to be part of this important discussion, and that is human resource. The name suggests is one of the most important function of any organization. And this fraternity works despite all the odds. Heartfelt kudos to all of you. It's my privilege of getting a chance to have a discussion with all of you. Thank you very much once again. While talking about the odds, we all are equally aware about this catastrophe. We all are in that, and that is COVID-19. Everyone in the world is stuck somewhere, and we Indians are no different. Each one of us having the questions galore. What will be the happen on 3rd May? Will lockdown be lifted? Will we be able to go to the office on 4th May or not? How, when, what, where, etc., etc. So many questions are roaming in our mind. While no one has answers of these questions except media in their 100 own ways, we know very well. But at the same time, there is a one person sitting back and doing a bit whenever we need, giving us salaries at the end of the month, making us more equipped with the training, and not only asking things professionally, but ready to help each one of us on the personal levels. And that is none and less, that is our HRs.
Sure. Thanks, Rajiv. If I may just bring in Aditya here. Aditya, you must have, as Rajiv also mentioned, we spoke about the lockdown. We've been on the lockdown for a month now. They also spoke about their plans. You must have seen a lot of advisories coming in from the government at this time. What can you put some light on which are the important ones and put some rest to our anxieties?
First of all, I thank HR and Enlight for inviting me to this webinar. Now, see, there are many advisories that have come out. Now, 2 of them are most important. The first is on the 20th of March, and the second is on the 29th of March. And the directions in respect of lockdown have been extended till 3rd May. Now, everybody has read the advisory. But what I will tell everyone is the salient points of those advisories. Now, the main points are that the industry is dealing with essential goods and services, food, medical equipment, drugs, fuel, and agricultural inputs. They shall remain, they will be allowed. And the most important aspect is that the workers shall be exempted from attending the duties, and they shall be marked present. Now, what is happening now, you see a lot of people, telling you that credit the leaves, or just ask them to put in the leave. That, in my mind, once you go through these advisories or you go through these notifications, and in Maharashtra, they are orders. So those are illegal. Now, third thing is that the workers have to be paid full wages without any deduction or any reduction. Now, these are the 2 very important words for this period: deduction and reduction. And the 4th part is that the services of the workers, they cannot be terminated. Now, if you look at, I'll just be detailed in my reply, because then I can be a little bit brief. Now, the word used here is workers. That is, one has to, look at the word very minutely. because that will indicate workers will include permanent workmen, temporary workmen, contract labor, trainees, apprentices, and NEEM trainees. Now, if you look at the advisory issued by the AICTE, I can send all the advisories to you. But if you look at the advisories, the words used in that advisory for the NEEM trainees are that the industries may pay. Now, this is an entire matter of interpretation, whether may shall be interpreted as shall or whatever. But the cost of interpretation is litigation for the employer. So what the employers have taken a stand that we will have to pay. Or if you look at the advisory, the employer will have to pay for the NEEM people. Now, the most important aspect is what to do with contract labor. Now, the contractor also will have to pay because he is also guided by these, notifications.
Same advisory.
And if the contractor does not pay, then the principal employer will be liable in accordance with the Contract Labor Act. Now, there are two types of interpretation. Many people have this in mind because most of the people know that a case of contract labor is not maintainable and all these things. But under the Factories Act, there is one manager and all the others are workers. And the government has cunningly used the word worker. And if you look at the Marathi translation, if you're in Maharashtra, you look at the Marathi translation, they have said Karmachari Athwa Kamgar. Kamgar or Karmachari. So, the government has also left it to the courts that you go to the court and you sort it out. So they have simply, their hands are in our pockets. So they are not interpreting anything. It is up to us. Now, what is the cost of interpretation? The cost of interpretation is mentioned in this Disaster Management Act. And just, I will point out to you that disobedience under Section 188 is 6 months. Then under the IPC 269, that is a negligent act that will likely to spread the disease. That is also up to 6 months. Then 270 and 271, that is disobedience of quarantine rule or that is again up to 2 years, up to 6 months. And under the Epidemic Disease Act, there is a Section 3 and a Disaster Management Act, Section 51B. That is also up to 1 to 2 years or up to 6 months. And few offences under the Disaster Management Act are non-bailable. That is very important. That is where I think that the companies will have to take an interpretation, a beneficial interpretation, and pay the salary to all the workers. If the contractor doesn't pay, then you have to pay. Now, the final thing is that whether the provisions of the these Epidemic Disease Act and the other act, Disaster Management Act, will supersede the provisions of the Industrial Disputes Act. The answer as on today is yes. Because the Supreme Court, there was a judgment on 31st March 2020, and the Supreme Court has said that any person who will will not accept this or do any sort of disobedience, the government is liable to take action on him. Prima facie, what the government is doing is right. So any non-payment as on today will invoke the provisions of this act, and you will have to contest it till such a time that the Supreme Court says that. And the problem is that you have to go to the court, you have to take the bail and all these things. So these things are uncalled for. Now the final thing, I am just highlighting the main points. Final thing is that yesterday there was a petition in the High Court, and that petition, the court has issued notice. I went through the order just now. The order does not say what is being shown in the media, that a query was asked by the Supreme Court that what are the plans of the government and all these things. That is not there in the order. Okay, query may have been asked, but now the pressure is on the government. So what I will advise all the people is that don't act hastily. You have time till 5th of May to make the payments to the contractors and your employees. Now what is to be done, I think the government will have to come out before the 3rd of May on what is to be done with the payment, whether 50%, 75%, or whether leaves can be adjusted from the employees and so on and so forth. The only issue is that as on today, you cannot enter into any agreement, contract out of the law. So any agreement that you come up with the workers or the unions or whatever that is, it has to be in accordance with the guiding principles of the orders that have been passed by the government on 30th of March and I think 23rd of March. So this is very important. So the thing is that you follow the law and make the payment to all the employees in accord. Though I am of the personal opinion that this is like the government acting in charity on putting the hands in the pockets of the employers and making the payments. So this can result in a ruin of tier 2, tier 3 factories. So government will have to come up with something, but till such time the legal position is that you have to make the payment. So this is my answer to your question.
Okay. Okay. I think there's just one more question from elaboration. You said factories also.
Yeah.
Now when you say workers, does this cover all industries or is it specific only to some industries?
Regarding, no, this notification covers all industries,
All industries.
everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And just one more thing, the Disaster Management Act says the citizen. Now, who is a citizen? Even the employer is the citizen. So, there is too much of interpretation. What is going on in the media, one just should shut his mind off and should not pay attention.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much. That was some of the questions were very scary when you said, it's imprisonment if you don't follow the orders. Rishikesh, a quick question to you. What are the major
Yes.
changes that you see in the labor policies or advisories, in the context of COVID-19?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Good morning, everybody. What I've seen as a student of labor laws and the labor policies, the first and foremost change in the light of COVID-19 is that everybody is bogged down with the problem of paying salaries, and that too on time to their workforce. By work, I mean everybody, not only laborers or not only blue-collar workmen, but I also include everybody from top to the bottom of the pyramid. And therefore, that is a singular thought which has been on the top of the mind of every owner of the business and the respective CEOs. And accordingly, I myself have been confronting with many of them with regards to what can be done to stop or save incurring losses. Right? That is what is a bottom line. But on the other hand, I also see there is quite a bit which is being done by the government to help the situation. I can give two very classic examples wherein, and I'm sure Rajiv or Aditya would add to this. The first and foremost is that the government has issued a notification that the Provident Fund contribution of employees who have a salary of 15,000 or below, to a level of 90% of employees having that salary in that bracket, 3 months of contribution of employer and employees, both the government will pay. Right? So the employer doesn't have to pay that. The second initiative which I have seen government taking is that the apprentices, there was a question which was raised that whether the apprentices, they also need to be paid during the lockdown period. And the answer is yes. And the government has been very explicit in saying that under the Apprentices Act, government will reimburse that amount to the employers once the lockdown is over. All right. At the same time, I'm also listening and following the media reports about some package which the government wants to dole out to the MSME sector, especially, who has borne the biggest brunt of this lockdown and having not been able to put the entire period to productive use, contributing to their business and productivity. And therefore, I do see that these policy changes are visible and are in the offing sooner than what we expect within the next few weeks, if not days. And whatever Rajiv has elaborated so very succinctly during his conversation applies to the period which is a period of lockdown, that is till 3rd of May.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm sure a lot of companies and a lot of businessmen, the owners of the businesses, CEOs, are contemplating as to what is to be done immediately post-lockdown. That is, if the lockdown is lifted, even though in a graded fashion by identifying areas as hotspots, that is red zones and orange zones and green zones, still there will be situations where what kind of measures which the organizations may take to minimize their losses.
Mhm.
And there have been several thought processes, such as can we get into layoffs? Can we get into retrenchments? Can we get into salary cuts? Can we get into delayed payment of bonuses? Can we get into deferred payment of the uh, appraisals and the variable pays of employees and things like that? So I'm sure there are several ways in which, because fortunately or unfortunately, salary budget is the largest component of any
Correct.
financial planning of any organization, and therefore, if something can be done on that front, companies are contemplating to avoid all the penal actions against them under the Disaster Management Law Act or the Epidemics Act. Post lockdown, can we do something? Is what is
Correct.
being contemplated, and maybe I think we'll have some more discussion
Sure.
about it very shortly.
Sure. So, thanks so much, Rishikesh. And while you were, mentioning all those points, I got
Yes.
two brilliant questions. I think one for Rajiv and one for Aditya.
Yes.
Let me quickly just start with Rajiv. Rajiv, what would you say are the three most important business priorities now for any business, or especially for you as a leader?
Look, considering present scenario, the foremost important thing is that health and safety. And health and safety is not only for our employees or the workers, but we are responsible for society. We should stay at home and to protect our neighbors, our society. That is the most important thing which we need to take care at this point of time. As far as businesses are concerned, I say manage costs. As rightly Mr. Rishikesh has mentioned that companies, CEOs are sitting in the boardroom and discussing on that how to reduce our expenses, how to reduce our fats. Please note down very carefully, I am telling you how to reduce the fats. I am not telling you to reduce or weaken your muscles. Because being a CEO, I'm quite sure about this growth returns. Maybe it will take 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, max to max 10 months. It will not take more than that time. And once the growth will return, it will come V growth. You can say in the V shape growth, and that will be in multiples. And for that time, we should be ready and we should fit for sprint. That's why I'm suggesting to my people in my company, we are means before this pandemic, before FAB, we were working on a lot of expansions. In Jamshedpur, we are going to set up the new plants. We are going to expansion in other states as well. I'm not going to hold those expansions. I'm just making them slow down. I'm putting money in not the way which we had planned, but still we are putting money. We are putting capex because we should ready and fit once growth will comes for the sprint. So manage cost, health and safety, and another most important thing where HR has to involve and HR has to create the vital role, that is the motivation of the employees. As Mr. Rishikesh has rightly mentioned that company may think for the appraisals, company may think for this year increments, hold bonus because bonus cannot be hold because that was the earning of the previous year. So bonus somehow we have to pay, but of course increments, appraisals, in the worst case salary cuts may also be possible. So here we should keep our employees on the board. We should take their consent. We should
Absolutely.
keep them live and updated about the policies of the company. We should not impose our decisions on those employees. We should take their own buy-in. And I'm sure if loyal employees, those employees are attached with your company from the heart and from the soul, they will definitely accept at that present scenario. I'm least I'm least in the favor of layoffs because those who were attached with us from the years and at this point of time when whole world is struggling and there is no fault from their side, we should keep them with us for some period. But at the same time, as I suggested, HR has to play the role to convince our employees that this is going to be happen to save our people, to save the company. So three things which are most important: health and safety, manage costs, and keep employees updated and motivated.
Okay. Rajiv, quick question, one more. Is there anything that you're keeping on the back burner for the time being? You said that your Jamshedpur plant you will slow down. That is one. But is there anything else that you would keep on the back burner?
Yeah, it's just so many things. Means I have seen a couple of companies. The same thing. We are also doing this. That we have hold our new recruitments. We trying to give more responsibility for the existing people. For example, say somebody is looking after Delhi market, we are giving him the Punjab as well. Previously, we were planning to put the new person in Punjab market. So by that way, we are rationalizing our workforce to utilize as maximum as possible with the existing resources. We are holding, as I mentioned, that we are not holding capex, we are making it slow down. So such kind of actions we are taking that to control our expenses and control the things better to survive in this crisis.
Okay. Thanks, Rajiv. It's very, very informative. I think a quick question to the point what Hrishikesh brought up. He spoke about bonuses. So in a case, where some questions are with regards to the variable payouts, if the company is liable to pay the same in case that they have already announced the payout, is the company liable? That is question one. The second, if the company is bound to pay the same in that case, can they defer the payout? One, are they liable if they have announced it? And if yes, can they defer the payout?
See, whether you can defer the variable pay, definitely. But whether you can withdraw the variable, if you have declared it, you will have to pay it. And it will depend on your appointment letter. See, in the appointment letter, if it is written that it will be the exclusive right of the management whether to pay variable pay or not, or whether to give that additional performance incentive or not, then even if you don't pay, it's okay. But otherwise, if it is there in the appointment letter, if it is there in the terms of contract, then you will have to pay, but you can defer it. You can definitely defer it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Quick question to Hrishikesh also. Post the lockdown, companies might be forced to extend their working hours, or might even be vice versa. Based on the norms. If we don't have full strength, we might have to reduce the working hours as well.
Yes.
Have to cut the lockdown working hours in order to survive. How do we survive the job cuts? Is there a possibility? And what are the precautions that we should be taking?
Oh, very much. See, extending of working hours possibly will be necessary, especially in the light of the government advisories, or at sometimes the state government promulgating orders in that respect to maintain the social distancing. So what is expected to happen, as I expect, is that at any point in time, possibly there would be about 50% at the most the workforce on the premises of the organizations working, and therefore there would be staggered kind of work timings for people to come in. And in some situations, especially in manufacturing sector, there would be extended hours over which people will have to work to make good the losses which may have been incurred during the lockdown period. All right. Now, all these are obviously governed by the labor laws, and the labor laws cover all these situations in enough clarity. That is, if the shifts are extended, then the workforce is expected to be paid extra, especially the workforce coming from the blue-collared segment of the organizations. They have to be paid extra as overtimes. All right. At the same time, with reduced working hours, there is for the blue collar workforce, there is a concept of layoffs, which is partial layoffs, which means that for a person who is supposed to be engaged for half a day, that person can be declared as on a layoff for half a day, and the person works only for half a day, and for the remaining half, he gets 50% of his salary. All right. So that also is possible, but then there is also an upper limit of the time duration of 45 days, during which this can be done. And hopefully, as I completely agree with what Rajiv and both Aditya also had said, that layoffs of any kind are going to bring bad branding for the organization. Right? And the employees and the workforce is not going to view any kind of layoffs in any good spirit of the kind. And as a result, even the loyal personnel of the organizations may also start getting into a negative thought process, which are driven by initiatives like layoffs or retrenchments at the extreme situation. So instead, if there is this is my strictly personal opinion, and I would expect and request Aditya to add to this, that salary cuts are the best best initiative which can be done across the organization, and that too across the organization, and that too in the great fashion. And as a student of human behavior, I think this would bring in a very interesting twist in the story, wherein the salary cut, which is the most at the topmost level and the least at the bottom of the pyramid, in that graded fashion, if the salary cut is applied for a specific duration of time, and the time can be decided by the organization itself based on the exigencies which are being faced by the organization, then behaviorally, for me, if my boss's salary is cut by a larger quantum than me, I'm more happier. Behaviorally, I mean, as a thought process, I'm not saying that it is whether it is fair or not fair, but something which is being done to my boss, which is more severe than what I am facing, ensures that the negativity does not set in.
Absolutely.
And if it is done across the board, all across the organization, as rightly said by Aditya and more so by Rajiv, by taking a consent from everybody, by taking everybody on board and taking everybody into confidence, I think this one particular initiative will not only allow organizations to minimize their costs, but also ensure the togetherness of the entire workforce, that in the moments of crisis, every one of us are together and every one of us facing the brunt.
Correct. Correct. Aditya, would you want to say anything in addition to
yeah, he has rightly said that consent needs to be obtained. And just to add one thing, that this will have to be done after the lockdown. This is a post-lockdown situation. He's already mentioned it. But the consent is necessary to reduce the salary of any person, because you will be contracting out of their original contract. So that is possible, and the example that he gave, actually, that we have done here in Pune, where the thing is that only workers were left out, but up to staff, everybody took a salary cut. I think the top management took a 30% and remaining 20 and 10%. I'll just give an example. If you recall the earlier recession that came just a few years ago, at that time, one of my clients, or we had decided that people will take a salary cut. Luckily, we were able to convince everyone to take a salary cut. But what happened was that after 2 years, we restored their wages, but also gave them the difference. Now, luckily for us, this time in that company, people are ready to take the salary cut immediately. In fact, they came up with a solution that you take a salary cut and don't lay off. But that is restricted to one company. It may not happen in other companies, because in other companies, the unions have given a letter saying no salary cut, no crediting our leave, and no doing nothing. We are not going to cooperate with you. So this is, even in today's case, unfortunately, a few unions have that mentality that they will not cooperate even if the company is destroyed. But let me tell you, with my interaction with quite a few union leaders, most of them have come on board and they have accepted that this is not going to be a very good situation for anyone. In fact, one of the examples I will give you, there's one Mr. Khatkare, who is of one union, I think the Rashtrawaddi Union. His workers were not going to work. They were in some pharmaceutical plant, one of my clients, and they needed to give some saline bottles to the people who are in that COVID situation, and they were not ready to go. They were scared. But I think he came up, and we didn't know this. We came to know it later on. So he went to the workers. He told them, "You have to go," because he gave them some lecture saying that this is a national thing. You are serving the nation and all these things. But the workers went at the end of the day. So sometimes even, I was also surprised. You can have some positive reactions from
Absolutely.
the most strongest of the leaders
Absolutely.
also.
One quick question to Rajiv again. What according to you would be the new normal post COVID-19?
I would like to say first that we should understand that, as Mr. Joshi said about the previous recession. So when the financial crisis rocked and the business stopped in 2007 to 2009, approximately, that time companies called their CFOs, called their finance teams, and asked them to how to take the actions to come out from this problem. But today's problem is slightly different. And why it's slightly different? Because in this situation, only finance department is not able to take us out. HR department also has to play a vital role. And not only HR, I'll say each and every employee of the organization has to play a vital role. And that will be the responsibility of the finance department and HR functions to enlighten all the company staff to contribute how to come out from this problem. Now, as you have asked about post-COVID-19, look, today we are sitting in the lockdown and we are feeling that this is the most challenging time. No, challenging time yet to come. And that time will come when lockdown will be over and we will go in the plants and we will see now plants are open, everything is there, but there is no business. That time the role comes from the each and every employee has to work on cost reduction, as I mentioned previously. Second, most of the part, so cost reduction is going to be now our habit. Though we were earlier following this practice as one of the norms, and we had some targets, 3%, 4%, something like that. But this time it is going to be very religiously, and everyone has to put their efforts from their blood. Second point, which we understood in last 1 year, that is the way of working. Earlier we feel that means the way of working means that we have to go to office, we have to meet our clients. It is going to be changed drastically. Digitalization is going to play a vital role in coming months. And here again I'm telling you, because HR and plant heads fraternity is there, so we have to check our plants and our resources should be in place. Our team members should be trained for that. Because if somebody working in the purchase department, somebody working in the sales and marketing department, their vendors, their customers, they are also not going to willing to meet with them one to one. And that is, this social distancing is not for the not now the short term phenomena, it is going for the long term. And that time our team, our resources should be in the place and they should be trained how to interact with our clients, our vendors, our customers, and how to get the business. So digitalization is going to be play a vital role in coming days. Another most important thing, leader. Though we are talking about HR and finance and complete team, but there is an important role has to play by the leaders. Because anyway, we are aware that leaders has to play vital role. They have to show the examples. But now scenario is different. They have to come first, prove the things, to give the results, show the set the examples among all of the employees, in front of the employees, how to keep the things, how to work in a different manner in coming months has to show by the leaders. And leaders only will show the path to their team, because team is also not aware about how the things are going to be changed drastically in coming months. So leader has to get the updates from the people, from the experts, like we are sitting here, and that those things we have to implement in our plans, and then we show the path to our teams.
Perfect.
So in the coming times, things are going to be changed drastically, going to be digital, as I have mentioned. Do less in do less time. The meaning is that means we have to do less with less, means our resources is going to be reduced and our way of working is also going to be reduced, but we have to accept and we have to get the same results, means automation. Earlier technology, we are talking a lot, but now it is going to be necessary. So
Right.
so we have to be hard this line that do less with less and get the same result. So these are the
Perfect.
major important things which is going to be changed after COVID-19, and we should ready and our leaders should guide to our team, and that is the most important thing in coming months.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks, Rajiv. A quick question to Aditya and then Rushikesh. We are running out of time, and then we want to move into the question answer session. We've got quite a few questions.
I
Yes,
just
Rushikesh.
want to add to what Rajiv just said is that see, every calamity or every challenge which comes up has a very beautiful hidden opportunity therein. Right.
That's right.
And if we are able to identify for ourselves as to what is the opportunity which is lying hidden in that challenge or that calamity, I'm sure we are done. All right. It is more easier said than done. I can completely understand and appreciate and must confess. But however, we will possibly have to train ourselves to look for those opportunities for ourselves. And I see there are tremendous amount of opportunities at the individual level, at the organizational level, at the national level, and as well as at the international level. And I must tell you here that with the present calamity or challenge which we are expecting, even the boundaries of nations are going to change. And watch my word, even the boundaries of nations will change as this particular event or calamity which we are facing will be used as an opportunity for the boundaries to change. Right? I will elaborate on this particular aspect because it may be a little controversial. So I will stop here.
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
Just I would like to add one more thing, but basically it has created a big reset for all of us.
Yes.
We have to change everything in our day-to-day life, to professional life. Everything now is going to be changed in coming months and coming years, and then it will be percolate in our life for forever.
Correct.
Perfect.
One quick question to Aditya, and then I think we'll go for the question answers from the audience. So, we all spoke about almost virtual reality. Everything is having virtually. We are supposed to meet our clients virtually. We are meeting candidates also virtually now. When we are doing
Yes.
interviews, we are doing virtual interviews, and based on that, we are hiring. So, a quick question to Aditya: we are also doing exits virtually now. So
Yeah.
thank you for your time, and we do exit interviews online. So there are times, let's say if I'm doing an exit interview and because of the lockdown, employees cannot come out to return the assets to the organization. It could be a laptop or whatever they have. And can the company in this case delay their full and final payment? So that question's to Aditya.
No, company will have to, once he resigns and on the last day, the company will have to make his full and final payment. Because laptop and all those other things, he is liable to return to you. It's a criminal offense if he doesn't do that. You can prosecute him under the Companies Act, as well as if he takes anything out or sells it, or there are so many other criminal offenses which I think most of them are aware about. So nobody takes that risk. So the first thing you need to do is pay the full and final, and then you can he will have to give it to you, and just keep it in writing that you have to return all these things to me once the lockdown is over.
Okay. So we've got quite a few questions. Let me just quickly go through them. Okay. One question, and anybody can take this up. Employees who are asked to leave due to non-performance during this time, especially in sales, can the employer challenge this particular judgment, or because he's not completing his targets due to the market situation?
Look, I would like to give the answer for this question. Layoff is a normal phenomena in any industry, in any business, as far as if it is on the basis of the performance. But as per the government guidelines during the lockdown, say on 23rd March, given by the Prime Minister of India. So after 23rd March, we should be cautious, because that time he has given the guideline. Whoever has resigned before 23rd March, whoever was asked for the layoff on the basis of performance before 23rd March, I think Mr. Joshi should correct me. I think that will be logical and that will be legal, but we should respect our Honorable Prime Minister request. From 23rd March onward, we should not ask anybody on the basis of performance, though it is again right, but because he has requested to don't ask in this pandemic time to for any layoff, we should respect his advice. So that is my answer to this question. I think Mr. Joshi will put some more light on this.
I think you are absolutely right. And we cannot do anything from 23rd till the last day of lockdown. After that, we are free to do whatever we want. But you have rightly said that from 23rd to we cannot take any action for non-performance because the government has specifically said that we cannot terminate anyone. Absolutely correct.
Okay. So one more question, on this. We have another question. What if the company is running under the essential commodities and at 50% manpower? Should the company pay all workers, including those who have not attended duties and have refused to attend duties?
Should I answer it?
Please.
Yeah, Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah. See, as
Yeah,
far
sorry,
as
Aditya, go ahead.
people who are under the Essential Commodities Act and who are functioning, the people whom you call, you have to pay. People whom you do not call, you have to pay them. But people whom you call and who do not turn up for work, you can take action on them, and you need not pay them on the basis of no work, no pay. You are not eligible to pay them, and they are liable for action also.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. One more is, what about leave balance? Should that be the same, retained or cancelled?
I'll take that. The leave balance has to be retained because as per the advisories which have been issued by the central government and promulgation of orders in line with those advisories by the respective state governments, the period of absence during the lockdown period for any reason, either from work from home or otherwise, cannot be treated as a period of leave to be deducted from their leave balance. So leaves will have to be maintained as it is. The credit will have to be maintained as it is. Aditya?
Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely.
We have another question from Rajendra, and this question is either for Aditya or Rishikesh. When the government has sent advisory not to cut compensation or release anyone from the organization, on the other hand, they are freezing the DA for central government employees or paying salaries in part of state government employees. What will the consequences if the IT and ITS or service industry organizations reduce the payment or on convert roles or to convert the roles to part-time?
Aditya, you can address this and then I'll add to you what you have said.
The first thing is that as far as IT and ITES people are concerned, let me tell them that they are the cherry on the cake. Everybody is only paying attention to them. Nobody is concerned about the factories. So first thing that the IT and ITES people have to do is they cannot reduce the wages till the lockdown is over. And even after the lockdown, with the consent of the employees, okay, then that is a different issue altogether. But during the lockdown period, you cannot do anything. That is sure. You have to be very careful because if you have read the papers, I think Cognizant was asked to,
Yes.
they had credited the leaves. They were asked to give the leaves back to the employees. So all that is illegal. And if you look at the notification, it specifically says that you will have to mark them present when they are home. But the thing about IT and ITES is that they are working from home. The people who are not working from home, then this is applicable. But most of them are working from home. So that is why you have to make the payment for them.
Absolutely. At the same time, I just add to what Aditya said, that while somebody is quoting that the DA of the central government employees and state government employees commensurately is being frozen for a specific period, that is precisely what I meant by saying that the variable component of the salaries, which is appropriately mentioned in their appointment letters, if the company has incurred losses in a specific duration, and interestingly, it was 31st of March and some part of March was already there under the lockdown. and the effect of that was already seen much before 31st of March, then the variable component can possibly be either not given if the appointment letter is appropriately worded, or if it is committed as a part of the CTC in the form of a figure, then it can be deferred until a particular date, like what has been done by the central government in terms of freezing the DA till some particular date of 2021. All right. At the same time, as per the Bonus Act, even if the bonus is payable to the eligible employees at the rate of 8.33%, it is on an accrual basis. By that I mean is that the payment of bonus also can be deferred even by an year, and the bonus of this year can be paid next year and is completely legal. All right. At the same time, there is also a human angle to it, that the bonus is usually doled out at the time of Diwali, which is the so-called national festival, and everybody is expecting the bonus to be paid to the employees during that period. So nothing stops the organization from taking or promulgating a policy saying that okay, 50% of the bonus will pay this year during before Diwali, and maybe 50% of the bonus payable will pay at the time of Gudi Padwa next year, and some such initiatives could be taken so that the cash flow of the companies or organizations is managed in a better fashion.
Okay. Rishikesh, just to add to that, we keep using the word bonuses. What about commissions? Yes. If people are on commission basis, what about, can we defer commissions as well?
Identical, absolutely okay. Identical. Yes.
Okay, perfect. One more question, and I know Aditya answered this, but we got it again. Does workmen include software engineers, leads, managers? Does workmen also include these three categories?
See, the definition of workman is any person doing manual, clerical, technical work, and who has a salary of less than 50,000 rupees. The nature of duties is very important as far as a workman is concerned. Is nature of duties. Many people, that is why, people are asking me, what can we do with the staff? I always tell them, what type of work is he doing? If, you just name them staff, but he's doing actual work of a workman. So that is not allowed. Those people have to be, you have to follow the provisions of the law. And in any case, my suggestion would be for all the employees, you follow the notification till the lockdown.
Absolutely.
There is no problem.
Correct.
So one more question again on the whole lockdown issue. What if the offer letter has been rolled out and the date of joining is during the lockdown period? Can the person be onboarded, or can the date of joining be deferred?
If there is a
I'll take that. Yes, so the date of joining can definitely be deferred. There is absolutely no problem, because till such time the person is on board, the labor laws don't apply. All right, labor laws apply only once the person is on board. So therefore, joining date can definitely be deferred. But at the same time, while deferring it, a new date has to be given. It cannot be deferred indefinitely.
We have an anonymous attendee as well.
Okay.
This is a good question. As per the advisory released by the government, I understand that companies are not allowed to do any kind of layoffs or reduction in pay. However, there are companies who have already done this action. Being a part of such organization and being in HR, how do I deal with this situation?
You get a good criminal lawyer. Find a good criminal lawyer. That is the best thing that you can do. But see, let me tell you that again, the intention of the government is also very important. The intention of the government has called for information from all the industries, whether we have made the payment, to whom we have made the payment, who was working, who was not working, and the government is trying to get hold of all the information. Now, whether the government will file an FIR or whether they will prosecute or not prosecute is a different issue altogether. If they don't prosecute, well, you break a signal and you have not been found. But if they prosecute, then you are in a little bit of a problem.
And to add to what Aditya said, don't forget the employee who has been terminated during the lockdown period. is also free to file a complaint against the employer. All right. And there is every possibility that the employee will win against the employer for two reasons. One is the period during which this particular action has been taken, which was prevented by the government notifications. Secondly, even if the organization is hiring a good criminal lawyer and going to the court, invariably it has been discovered that the courts also are giving judgments in favor of the employees more than that in favor of the organizations. So the best thing to do is to pay off the person who has been terminated till the date of the lockdown squarely and close the matter then and there.
Okay, perfect. I think we're just about out of time. Like I told everyone till 12:30. It's exactly 12:30. So
Yes.
very, very big thank you to Rishikesh, Aditya, Rajiv from the
Most
HR
welcome.
and Light team. It's been a pleasure, and I think we've opened a lot of minds. Thanks to Rajiv, we know that if this is the new normal, what is it that we need to do? And from a legal and an employee perspective, how does an HR team, behave, react, do, respond? Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a great pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you. We are honored
Thank you.
to be here.
Thank you,
very
guys.
much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.